Alright, what's going on, guys? Bubbles back again, coming at you with the showcase on the new Ichigo Max... I was gonna say Max Set, that's not true. T20, 1 out of 5 Ichigo. This is my personal Ichigo, and I do have him with Soul Reaper. Well... Alright, so he is a Soul Reaper with a Soul Reaper and a Rockar Killer. We have the level 10 SP. He is a Strong Attack Recharge minus 14% link. Going into his actual kit, he does have a really good kit with his second and third Strong Attack. His first Strong Attack leaves a lot to love, to be honest. I've been playing with this character quite a bit so I can get the feel for him, and because I wanted to get a genuine feeling of how do I like this character, because I feel he's a lot more underwhelming compared to Uryu, as I'll talk about later on in this video. He does have paralysis and weakening on everything. His first strong attack, 4200 by 4200 cross, which I personally think it's an okay strong attack in theory, but I wish that it hit for a bit more damage, which you'll see in the IT run and the Epic Raid run that we actually do. Next, his second strong attack is going to be the 960 AoE distant with the homing vortex, which is really, really good. However, his functions a bit differently than 5th anniversary Byakuya and 6th anniversary Aizen, so we'll get into that when we're actually showcasing the character. Full screen third strong attack, and then his special move does actually have bombardment. He does have weakened defense from my T20 skill. And we also have the full stamina damage boost sitting at 66% because I am running the Chad as well as the Retsu. So I definitely want to stay at full stam for this. I'm not going to be running a tension tie because I just want to show what he can do. I do run the tension tie for the epic raids. So yeah, that'll be that. Artisanal tea set, fortification pill, hollow bait. Going into his skills, we do have immobilizer and enervator, which I feel like kind of procs a little bit more often than I would expect it to, which is good because I feel like he needs it. So when there's a lot of enemies, at the very least, the immobilizer and enervator does come into play for helping you with your status element spiritual pressure boost 80%. The immobilizer and enervator does indeed proc this spiritual pressure boost, thank the Lord. He has a bruiser of 20%, throwaway ability in my opinion. He has havoc 20%, berserker 40%, reduced strong attack cooldown 14% built into his kit, shared complete status immunity, I'll talk about that as we do IT, frenzy +1, bombardment, debilitator plus 5 seconds, weaken defense from the T15 slot, sharpshooter and hit hidden enemies, so nullify range resistance, guard break, and hit hidden enemies built in, which is awesome. I love that on him as well as Aizen. And then yeah, he's just overall a really good character. So let's just get into the gameplay and see what we can do. Alright, so we're here in IT, and we're gonna see what he can do with a full lobby. Now, for Uryu, I did do this solo, just because, honestly, Uryu is just, like, broken. He's broken, alright? So we're gonna bring in some people over here for this Ichigo run. We're gonna bring my boy Cyanide. He doesn't have Ichigo, but he's gonna be helping us fill the lobby. We literally have 4 minutes to really do this. So we'll be doing a showcase on this, and then we're gonna actually take him into Epic Raids and then do that there. Alright, so we'll do that. I'll do ×5 run because why not? We have 2 Nels in the party, which is really good. Now, what we can do is stay in the puddles and then use our complete status immunity, which is actually pretty good. Now, the way that the complete status immunity works for your partners and your team is literally when you would get applied a status ailment, you will actually completely be immune to it and give the immunity to your allies for 10 seconds. You'll see the icon above our allies. Now, range collision, first strong attack, which is unfortunate. Second strong attack is going to be the homing vortex. Third strong attack, standard full screen. Boom, boom. Now, I'll go a bit more in depth with this character in the single player stuff, because there's quite a bit of stuff to unpack when it comes down to his kit. Like, he's actually quite interesting. When it comes down to the way his second strong attack functions, as well as we'll definitely talk about it. That's all I'm gonna say for now. There's strong attack. Boom, boom. Can we get the status element spiritual pressure boost? Okay. Oh my god, almost got hit there. Oh my lord. Actually, I want to die. Let me die. The reason I want to die is so that I can actually respawn with full stam. I don't want to lose my full stam. I don't want to risk losing it. So you'll see the shared complete status immunity show up. And what that does is you'll see the little icon above the Nels. Third strong attack. Oh my lord. That was actually super close. Boom, boom. Neliel's coming in clutch. Now, his first strong attack is a 4200 beam, except it's range collision, which is really awkward. Bro, I'm trying to do my soul bomb. I thought that was my soul bomb, and I was wrong. Alright, now they did do quite a bit of damage for the first two waves of this spawn, so yeah, that's definitely one thing to note there. But yeah, so his cross is actually 2100 going this way, 2100 going upwards, and 2100 going downwards, and 2100 going to the other side. Now the issue with that is that since it's a cross, it actually ends up, how do I put it? What's a nice way to put it? It ends up missing quite a bit because not only is it pretty narrow at 420 width, the AoE for this beam, but it's also range collision, so it also has trouble killing some of the enemies, which is... And I end up being a bit harsh with this Ichigo because I feel like he should be quite a bit better, considering that he... Alright, so when it comes to this Ichigo, I am being quite a bit harsh when it comes to him. Not because I think he's bad, I'm being very critical because he also came out alongside this Uryu, which I think that Uryu is insanely overpowered. Like, I think that it's not... I honestly believe that it's not even close. 5th anniversary Ichigo might nuke harder than, like, 5th anniversary Byakuya with, like, the 3rd strong attack, sure. But this Ichigo doesn't have anywhere near the amount of power that the Uryu has. Like there, we finally procced our spiritual pressure boost after a little bit. First strong attack, range collision, you'll see there that we did 5,000 damage. Now compare that with the 3rd strong attack, right? 13,000 over there. Now we do hit 12 times with our first strong attack, so 12 times 5,000 equals roughly 60k over here. It does push back the enemy a little bit, but for bosses like in epic raids, he actually only hits 12 times with that first strong attack. He does a paralysis and the weakening, right? There's our spiritual pressure boost. Boom. Pop. Now, if I actually slow this down, you'll see that the damage increase is kind of wild. And the reason for that is that, unlike most characters, his second strong attack actually comes out at the same time as his vortex. And you'll see why we dealt 113,000 damage to this guy, but only 7,000 damage to the guy that was standing right here, right? You'll see that the discrepancy in damage is because his second strong attack, as soon as he pops it off, unlike Byakuya and Aizen, where the 960 AoE distant comes out first, his vortex comes out at the same time. And the reason that I don't think that it's necessarily a good thing that that happens is because if the enemy were to die with the 960 AoE, you essentially waste potential hits with the range collision, well, with the vortex part of this strong attack. You saw the 4,500 with him. Like, this enemy got hit for 4,500 damage compared to the 112,000. Like that, 87,000, but we originally hit like 4,000. Now, my logic really stands that if his vortex were to come out and he were to kill the enemies and spawn the second wave of enemies, the hits from the vortex could have helped finish those enemies off, but instead they were wasted on an enemy that was to die from a much stronger hit to begin with. So that's like maybe 2 ticks from your vortex that is unrealized, right? Now, his spiritual pressure boost is pretty nice, but I noticed that he ends up missing out on it quite a bit sometimes. So, 3rd strong attack, boom, boom. Without his spiritual pressure boost 80%, he actually loses about 60% of his damage, almost like you're losing out on your full stamina damage boost. Fortunately, with the immobilizer as well as the enervator, he ends up getting it back relatively quickly. Okay, so let's pop this off. Pop. So there you go. 5,400 and then 134,000. So the vortex ends up hitting a little bit before the big hit from the 960 AoE, but that isn't always the case. Sometimes I did during the status element spiritual pressure boost 80% run that I did, I actually hit her for 200,000, and I was questioning my entire life. I'm like, why would I hit this enemy for 200,000 and then someone else for 4,000. And we came to the conclusion that it simply just ended up turning out that way. But alright, so we're going to take him into epic raids and see what he can do there. I will be doing those runs in solo because I actually can't clear it solo. IT, I wanted to low-key scrub the single run that I did because it was so slow in comparison to Uryu's that it is what it is. Alright, so this is going to be the Ichigo. Full stamina damage boost across the board, 20% each. T-set, fortification pills, some full stamina damage boost, and some strong attack recharge. Now, the reason I feel like he needs that strong attack recharge is if he doesn't proc his status elements, which doesn't happen very often. This is my 4th epic raid trying to, like, proc his status elements sometime soon. I've gone the last 3 runs, 72 hits at least, without proccing his status element. There we go, finally. So we have the paralysis. Pop, pop. First strong attack does have 12 hits on it, which is pretty nice. I'm going to pop this off. Bypass a little bit of his HP there. Status element spiritual pressure boost wore off. Trying to keep our full stam. Trying to keep our full stam. Trying to keep spiritual pressure boost. Spiritual pressure boost. Spiritual pressure boost. K-Lab. 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 Oh my god. Thank god. Okay. Still no spirit. There it is. There it is. Don't come for me. I can't even see it. Oh no, there it is! Ah! Okay. Damn it, I wasn't able to keep it. Fortunately, our spiritual pressure boost, finally I got a good run in. There it is. Finally. Still lost my full stam. But at least the stupid status element is actually proc this time for a good run. Alright, here's some bloopers. If Uryu had Killer here, I feel like he'd probably clear a bit quicker than Ichigo. But my problem with this Ichigo is, you'll see here, we literally pop off all of our strong attacks. We have a total of 72 hits, and we still haven't procced our status element, right? And I feel like that really sucks, because that's all of our damage potential. Like, all of our damage is literally dependent on this spiritual pressure. Okay, there we go. We finally procced it towards the end of the first phase. So we have 27... Oh my god, really? What the f... Okay, so shout out to my boy Side-Eye for joining my lobby and then disconnecting on me, because, yeah, it's the only way to... I wish that we can do this solo, to be honest, but they force you to have someone join, unlike Epic Raid. So damage inflicted at full stam, 66%. One thing that I do love about this character is he does proc his status element spiritual pressure boost relatively often thanks to the Enervator. But you see that first strong attack dealt, like, borderline no damage. Now, his second strong attack, I want to talk about that in a little bit more detail, because his function's a bit different than 5th anniversary Byakuya's or Aizen's. Now, his second strong attack, unlike Aizen's and Byakuya's, actually take place at the exact same time. For Byakuya, Aizen, and Kisuke, whenever you do your second strong attack, you immediately do your big attack first, so it deals a lot of damage, and then the small attacks happen after, like the Havoc, excuse me, the Havoc. The vortex that you get from, the homing vortex that you get from the second strong attack usually comes out slightly after the original hit, but for this Ichigo, they come out at exactly the same time. So you'll see here, I'll do my vortex, and then sometimes you'll see a really, really small hit despite his first hit coming out. Probably easier if I just show you this video clip. Okay. Boom, boom. Nine combo. I'm trying to keep my full stamina damage boost, so I might play a bit more conservatively than normal. Now that first strong attack is a cross. Now the way his shared complete status immunity works is, one, he is completely immune to all status ailments. When he procs the status element, you see how it keeps proccing non-stop. As long as you stay in a puddle and would get a status element, your allies will be not only completely immune, but be healed from those status elements, and they will be immune to those status elements for 10 seconds. So pretty much, if you stay in the puddle, it'll keep trying to hit you with the status element, but it won't work. Boom, boom. I'm not gonna lie, the more I play with him, the more I wish he had Frenzy too. I do think that Uryu is up there with Aizen, and I think that this Ichigo is up there with Arpuk Ichigo. Maybe? I don't even know. Oh my lord. Lost our full stam there. Yeah, look at that. First strong attack deals like no damage if it's in the corner. You have to hit like that. Oh, even then, you see that? Like the damage is like... I get that I have full stam, like links on, but it's still unfortunate. There we go. I wanted to grab my full stam back. Third strong attack, not able to deal even half the damage. And that's my issue, right? It's like, since Uryu has the increased status element chance along with Frenzy 2, he's pretty much guaranteed to proc his status elements. And Ichigo doesn't have that luxury. Look at this. Literally, look at that. Finally, I got my spiritual pressure boost 80%. And the thing is, his damage would be comparable to Uryu's, but since you're so reliant on proccing a status element, it ends up really... like, your damage is way too inconsistent. Look at that. We already ran out of our spiritual pressure boost. Waiting for it to come back. There we go. Nice, it's back. We don't have long stride sprinter +2 like that Uryu does. And the reason that I bring that up is because these characters came out at exactly like the same day, like the same time, right? So they should be comparable in damage. And Byakuya and Ichigo, for example, Ichigo definitely dealt like more damage than the Byakuya. But the Byakuya had a lot more versatility. I feel like the difference between this Ichigo and the Uryu is just really, really large. Okay, so I'm gonna use my Soul Bomb. Keep in mind, I'm not at full stam. Boom, boom. Okay. It looks like we would actually be able to bomb to the second wave, which is actually really good. That Ichigo took way too long to die. The full hollow. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much going to be this Ichigo in IT co-op. Keep in mind, like I said, I did lose some stamina, which isn't ideal, but I'm trying not to inconvenience too many people, and I don't really run alts. Alright, and that will be it. Now, I do think that Ichigo is probably one of like the best mind character in the game, and I do believe that he's one of the best characters in the game as well, but I do have to be very critical of him because I do believe that the disparity between him and 7th anniversary Uryu is a lot more than it was for 6th anniversary Aizen and Arpuk Ichigo, and 5th anniversary Byakuya and 5th anniversary Ichigo. Like, the difference between the 5th anniversary characters, 6th anniversary characters, and this anniversary, I feel like this anniversary, it's by far the biggest leap in differences in power level. And I did want to showcase the fact that that you can't really fully depend on the Immobilizer and Enervator in content like Epic Raids. You can pretty much depend on that and your Homing Vortex in content like IZ, IT, etc. Like, I think he does very, very well in that type of content. But I just wanted to show that no matter how many hits you do, unless you're getting a massive amount of hits, sometimes your status element spiritual pressure boost just doesn't come out. And with that being said, you end up missing out on 60% of your damage. That's a 65% damage increase, right? Whereas Uryu has his Frenzy +2, he has his strong attack damage built in, he has his Berserker 20%, he has full stamina damage boost if you decide to put full stam on him, and then on top of that he also has the gauge mechanic, which gives him 100% damage boost occasionally. Not as much as Ichigo's status element spiritual pressure boost is on usually more often than not, but since Uryu has ×3 damage with the Frenzy +2, and Ichigo has ×2.7 damage only when status element spiritual pressure boost is active, it ends up accounting for a ton of damage. But I'm gonna leave it at that. Stay blessed, y'all. Y'all have a great day. Like, comment, and subscribe if you're new. Do I like this Ichigo? Yeah, I love this Ichigo. This Ichigo is beefy. His animations are crazy. I just wish his first strong attack wasn't range collision. I feel like he'd be dealing a lot more damage then, and I feel like he'd be a lot more consistent then. He probably wouldn't be dealing as many hits, causing him to not get his status element spiritual pressure boost. as often, but I really wish this character just got the disabler that Uryu had. If he had that, I think this character would be 100%. I think he might not be perfect, but he'd be amazing. He'd be actually... No, he'd be perfect that way. Even with the range collision for strong attack. I'd be fine with it.